A huge part of Star Citizen's persistent universe will be exploration gameplay. This is going to take many forms. Currently in game you can fly around and discover interesting vistas and locations, but there isn't really proper exploration gameplay or mechanics yet. However, there are plans for lots of different types of gameplay for this that are going to start to come in over the next few quarters, like with the Pyro and Nick system, new giant star systems, various new ways of interacting with the world and finding things. And some of these things are coming pretty soon. Others, they're a long way out. Let's talk about what might be some of the most interesting and rewarding gameplay Star Citizen will offer. So what is exploration gameplay? Exploration gameplay will take many forms. You might be able to make money from surveying an area, literally finding out what resources are there and how many. Science and research, lots of different science and researchy type things are under that umbrella. There's also selling locational information, mapping jump points, running missions, or even discovering whole new star systems and everything in between. Just flying out into the verse and finding things. Exploring star systems, planets and moons for various reasons are going to be part of that. Now, that's going to be because a mission's told you to, or you're searching for points of interest. They could be derelicts, or they could be asteroid fields. You might be looking for animals, plants, or science data. Science and research is very closely related to all of this exploration gameplay. Part of this might be touring as well. So this is a little bit off on a tangent, but you just wandering around and looking at pretty things and pretty sights, that's sort of more specifically for touring and luxury ships like the 400i, the Constellation Phoenix, and even 890 Jump, that massive space shot. And there might be VIP and touring missions for that sort of thing, but as I said, gone off on a bit of a tangent. You're about to do that in other ships as well, just, fly around enjoying the scenery. Back to more specific exploration gameplay, you might be scanning down points of interest and anomalies. So this might include derelicts, but also could be enemy base locations. You could explore those areas or sell those locations' information to other players. You could also further survey it, because players will want to know the location of valuable resources, asteroid fields, potential base locations, resource fields. Maybe it's even just sort of NPC villages and areas that people haven't discovered. There might be locations for particular sort of cargoes that can only be found in certain areas. But you telling people the sort of value of materials on an area and what there is, well, there are land claims and the ability to exploit resources under the surface of a planet or even farm. So that's all super useful information. And you might use that for yourself, or you might sell it. You might even be wanting to use sort of explorer-based skills, I suppose, in prospecting operations. So going out with some miners and helping find valuable materials while people are mining, going, these rocks are worth your sort of time. You're at an asteroid field and you're literally helping at the sort of more day-to-day operations level. Another big part of exploration will be mapping. This is going to be for jump points and wormholes, other stuff as well, but these connect star systems together, and we have known locations for a lot of them, but you might be able to discover new ones that are taking you to a whole new star system potentially, or taking you to an existing star system but a jump that was previously not discovered, or it might just be a quick shortcut within the same system. Some of these might just be temporary, but knowing where they are, finding them, mapping them is likely to be valuable. Cloud Imperium have previously talked about jump point gameplay, saying in unmapped points it's going to be probably dangerous, so you'll have to move through them avoiding damage or getting pulled out too early. From CitizenCon 2019 we saw the Carrack having to maneuver through a dangerous looking tunnel, and that was between Stanton and Pyro. We don't really know how it's all going to play out yet though. I doubt Cloud Imperium want to make it too sort of dangerous, because people want to be able to do it and they don't want to be able to lose their ship from some sort of minor error, so it'll be interesting to see how that all works. I'm also kind of bundling scouting in here, so finding locations like pirate bases as part of exploring. At least I think exploration ships will be pretty good at finding points of interest in known systems. It's very much sort of like not just exploration, it's scanning gameplay, right? Actually, I think a big part of exploration will be literally flying around in known systems, but maybe going to the edge of known systems, going out in areas where there's just like deep space, looking for more points of interest. Maybe there are some new planets out there too. You might find a really old station that's drifted off, or loads of different types of derelicts, or some alien relics or whatever. Expect there to be tons of missions tied to exploration, science, and research. Some require you to collect data on animals and plants. Others will have you staying out in deep space for a while, or running experiments, scanning down and finding anomalies. Go and find out what happened to an expedition, or travel to areas and survey, bringing supplies to survey vessels and explorer vessels. I'm really looking forward to potentially finding sort of new alien wildlife and that sort of stuff, scanning plants, finding new plants, a bit of No Man's Sky-esque gameplay, right? But at that much more handcrafted, higher detail level. Maybe you're going to be tasked with bringing some animals or plant life back as well with you. Something else I do want to briefly touch on as well is mapping and cave exploration, or exploration on the ground as well, because there's going to be opportunities to search around areas that you can't access with a ship, that you can only access with ground vehicles or on foot, and even potentially underwater exploration as well. There are lots and lots of parts and features that will likely make up exploration gameplay too, that Cloud Imperium haven't talked too much about yet, or haven't even been conceived, because Cloud Imperium are very much building and iterating on the game as they build it. Cloud Imperium have said there might be sort of expensive, highly sort of valuable or a unique alien tech that you might be able to find, or some sort of relics and stuff. There may well be potentials to find like Bengals and things like that in the verse that you can then either capture or repair. So players with the skills to be able to scan stuff down and find them and then get that information to the right people are going to be highly valuable. Let's talk a bit about the exploration ships in-game, because basically what differentiates them from other ships is that they have better scanners, or very long range, or features allowing for sort of specific exploitation of the exploration gameplay. And, surprisingly, a lot of these ships are actually in-game already, although even if the exploration mechanics are not. And it's also worth saying that most of the exploration ships are pretty good at just general mission running, because, well, they're good at a reasonable amount of fighting, they're pretty durable, they have cargo space, they're pretty multi-role. So let's start with the smallest ones. Let's have a look at the 315P. That's a single-seater variant of the 300 series of ships. It's got a custom scanner for better detection of points of interest, but it's sort of supposed to be like helping with prospecting was the idea of it. Think very small scale, very entry level for exploration, and you can do, I suppose, entry level exploration with a load of different ships. You've got the Reliant Zen, which is sort of like a hybrid explorer science ship. It's got long range capabilities and advanced sensor suites. Getting a bit bigger, we've got the Freelancer Duh. So this again is a variant. It has a better scanner and longer range than its sister ships. It's bigger and better than the 315B or the Reliant Zen, and can support 2 to 3 players, but can also be run solo. I say better than some other ships, depends what your sort of use case is, I suppose. We've got the Constellation Aquila. So again, a variant. It replaces its turret compared to the other constellations with a sensor suite and advanced scanning and comms technology, including a long-range scanner, and the ship was originally supposed to feature cutting-edge detection algorithms to assist in locating jump points. So it's got this like jump point navigation sensor. It comes with an Ursa rover and a P-52 snub to help with exploration in tight spaces or on the ground. It's very capable as a multi-crew, multi-role ship, has good armaments. Will its sort of main role change in being sort of this jump point locating ship? Maybe it might become more of a general explorer, in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. We've also got the 600i. Again, this is getting bigger, and the 600i Explorer, it's sort of a variant. So you've got the Touring and the Explorer for the 600i. They're both made for specific purposes. Really, it's just a big module change in the back of the ship. So basically, this swaps a lounge that its sister ship has for a comprehensive scanning array and utility hardpoints. It's got a good amount of cargo, so you can bring extra supplies or bring stuff back from exploration. The bridge contains a mapping table and additional slots for avionics and utility systems, or AI blades that are going to sort of help you with exploration stuff. Again, a very capable multi-role ship for up to 5 players. The ship is currently undergoing a rework by CIG, although it is available in game. It's going to be changing a bit for the better. The Drake Corsair is one of my favourite ships. This is the first dedicated explorer ship that we have sort of talked about, really, because 600i kind of variant-ish. It's a no-frills, pretty sort of mid to high-end tier explorer. It's got state-of-the-art scanners, very, very good range, a load of cargo space. It's suitable for up to 4 crew. You want to do exploration? and this is going to be one of the ships that you definitely want to look at. So I think it's going to be great for all types of exploration. Again, just like most exploration ships, solid multi-role mission runner as well. Room for a vehicle. Doesn't have a room for specifically a snub in like its own bay or anything. And it doesn't have a med bay that some of the other larger ships do for exploration. And talking about one of those ships, the Anvil Carrack. That's one of the top explorer ships. It's a military pathfinder, my exploration ship of choice as well. It's a long-range expedition ship, and it will take you through the roughest areas of space and keep you safe. It is designed for transiting through jump points and dealing with extreme conditions in space and then getting back home. It has drones to help for scouting and exploration. It's got powerful weapons. It's got a medical bay with a tier 2 bed that allows for respawning currently, a Pisces scout craft and bay for that, a Urza rover which it can deploy. It's got modularity with its cargo bays. They're going to be swappable. It's got these 3 cargo bays that can be changed out, and this is planned in the future for more specific focused purposes. It can cater for a crew of up to 6, though I think 4 works particularly well. It is going to be a great expedition ship, and exploration of any type probably can be done in it pretty well. You'll be able to fly off for long periods of time and do pretty much anything you want exploration-wise. Do you want something bigger, though? And do you want something that can stay out in the verse forever, sort of potentially? The Odyssey says, how about, you want to stay out in the verse without ever needing to go back to base? Well, you might be able to do it with this ship. The Misk Odyssey is a capital-sized, highly advanced multi-crew explorer ship that is optimized for long-duration expeditions. This robust vessel boasts an on-board refinery and mining gear, along with a single small hangar, a medical bay, and accommodations for a crew of 6. This ship doesn't have drones, nor the modularity of the Carrack, but it does have similar facilities to the Carrack other than that. Hangar, vehicle bay, medical bay. Its big difference, though, is that it has a mining laser and onboard refinery, allowing it to farm quantum fuel on the go, potentially meaning it doesn't need to return to base, and giving it a indefinite operating time and range, though damage and running low of other supplies that you might not be able to scavenge, then you might still have to come back to base, right? If you're like, we're really injured, I can't repair all of this, or some of our crew are really, really, really ill. They need tier 1 beds. If you want to stay out exploring for huge periods of time, the Odyssey is for you. It is basically a mobile space base almost. Not sort of the same way that the Kraken is. This is much more one that you can stay out in the verse by itself and is very self-sufficient. The ship is in concept, but there are hints that Cloud Imperium want to get into game ASAP. There is another one as well, ship. So the Endeavour. This is a more specialist sort of explorer ship. It's massive and super modular, so you can set it up for loads of different purposes. You can set it up as a hospital or a farm or for science and research, which I think will be very useful as part of the exploration gameplay. I think we'll be able to crunch data and that sort of stuff, and maybe even make compounds and drugs and stuff like that from things that you find. But there's also a telescope that you can set it up with, a stellar observatory to scan down anomalies, jump points, and long-range points of interest. It also has the ability for the front part of the ship to detach from its sort of modular rear, and then that's quite suitable for exploration. I'm not expecting the Endeavour to be in-game anytime soon. It is very big, it's very complex, and there's a huge amount going on with it modularity-wise, but I do expect it to be a cool part of the exploration and science and research sort of gameplay. I believe that that's all the currently planned exploration-specific ships that are in-game or in concept. Please correct me in the comments if I've missed anything, which is possible. There is likely going to be modules for other ships to get better exploration sort of gameplay, and I'm expecting that scanners and AI blades will be able to be changed and customized to better help with a particular type of thing that you're scanning for, being it sort of like, I'm looking for these kinds of plants, or alien creatures, or jump points, or whatever. Also, an alien exploration ship from the Xi'an or Banu in the future might make sense too. I wonder sort of where people see the Terrapin lying as well, interestingly. So that's more of it is a scanning-based ship, but sort of for going into nebula and dangerous areas and environmentally dangerous places. I suppose that's also an exploration ship of a type. I would always see it more as a sort of scouting out enemy installations and that sort of stuff, but as we've just previously discussed, that's sort of part of it. So yeah, I'm going to include the Terrapin as a ship. It's sort of like a small one operator ship that's very, very durable, very hardy, got good environmental resistances. If you want to go into dangerous sort of gas clouds and places like that, it will do you well. So the next big step in getting more of this exploration gameplay in, beyond adding Pyro and Nyx and sort of adding more stuff to explore, more gameplay area, is scanning and star map updates that Cloud Imperium are working on. This will enable us to actually scan down points of interest and interesting things, and then they can add more and more to that. But obviously, they do want to build out more and more interesting things and points of interest as well. They're sort of building those out as we speak and producing the tools that allow it to be semi-procedurally generated too. Cloud Imperium are also working on a new star map and minimap that I believe incorporates the Galactopedia and also update things as you find them. So you'll be able to save locations and travel there and quantum boost, share locations, travel in a much more freeform way. I was going to talk about the sort of star citizen universe and how it's expanding out, how there's plans for 120 star systems and that sort of jazz, and how and what we're getting with Pyro and Nyx and that sort of jazz. But I will save that for another video, as I've already rabbited on for 15-16 minutes. So boom, that's it for your Star Citizen exploration update and plans for its future of gameplay. We will take a look at the Star Citizen universe, its expansion, and what's coming next with star systems and what that will all involve, and more specifics of that in another video coming out soon. As I said though, all of the stuff we discussed, it can change and evolve, and almost certainly will to some extent, but I think it's important for us to talk about the expectations and plans as they change, as we understand them, whether they be old plans, new plans, whatever, and see where that takes us. Because very much with Star Citizen, it is a game that is very affected by its players and their opinions and feedback. And with games like Starfield that are coming out soon that have a big penchant for exploration, I think it's worth discussing these things and then looking at them again once we've seen how Starfield sort of is received and what works with it and what doesn't. Though I do think Star Citizen's sort of gameplay is going to be much deeper and is obviously an MMO as well. But I'm really interested to know your thoughts on this. Are you excited for exploration in Star Citizen? Do you own any of those exploration ships? What's your favourite? Are you really looking forward to the Odyssey, or do you think the Carrack is king of explorers? How do you envision exploration for you? And what would you like it to be like? How would you like it to play out? Do you think Cloud Imperium's going in the right direction for exploration, and the sort of ships that it's got for that are all kind of good prospects? Are you worried that a lot of the content we're going to see in Star Citizen when it comes to exploration and points of interest is going to be very procedural in nature and a bit soulless? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Let me tell you a story from the book of NordVPN/BoredGamer. There were 3 little pigs who all needed internet access. One used a VPN made of straw, one used a VPN made of wood, and one used NordVPN, which is basically bricks in this analogy. Along came an elite hacker wolf and smashed up the houses of the first 2 Piggly Wigglies, but was unable to breach the NordVPN house, which is just much better than straw or wood for protecting you from internet things like wolves and hackers. The moral of this story is get nordvpn.com/boredgamer or click the links below for powerful discounts that might make your friends think you're an internet wizard or something.
Also, that wolf went to prison for 10 years on an unrelated crime. Maybe it was like not liking or subscribing or something? Every month we have a ship giveaway for June 2023. That's going to be for an RSI Constellation Andromeda. This hybrid cargo gunship is perfect for small crews of up to 4. It comes with a P-52 Merlin snub fighter as well, along with lifetime insurance and game access. All you need to start playing Star Citizen. And all you have to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the video description below. If you would like to further support the channel, please consider pressing the join button under my videos for exclusive membership to the channel, or become a Patreon. I've already got a load of lovely people that do that, and it really goes a long way in allowing us to make daily content. Thank you so much to my channel members and Patreons, but thank you so much for just liking, subscribing, commenting, and watching my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.